years ago.
Leads down to Seward.
I'm not born and raised in Tucson, but you know what, I call this one as my home. So Tucson is my home. We're Tucson people, and we all got to stick together.
12 News exclusive. So we have confirmed that a Tucson felon was detained, questioned, and then released as part of this investigation last week.
Now we're hearing from his attorney, who denies he has any involvement in this high-profile abduction.
So some of you guys caught on to this when this first happened. There was two pictures that came out of the suspect who was at the door. One picture showed he had the holster and a backpack, and then the other picture showed he didn't have a backpack. Well, some of us caught on to that a long time ago and was wondering, was there two separate people? Well, now they're saying it's not two separate people, but it's the same person, but two separate nights. Not only that, I'm going to explain to you why this is the perfect case, the perfect scenario to a criminal, okay? Take it from me. Let me explain this to you. Fugitive TV. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel, where we take a look at cases of missing people, unsolved mysteries, unsolved crimes. And we take a look at it from a fugitive perspective because I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I did it for 15 years, lived in different countries under different names. Now I own a couple businesses. I'm talking to you guys. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm trying to motivate the next person that, hey, that if I can do it, you can too. Well, what I do is I give you this different perspective on a lot of these things, okay? A lot of other channels bring on ex-detectives, ex-law enforcement, people of that nature, which is fine. I have nothing against them because some of them even call me sometimes to get insights of what I would think to help them solve a case. Well, I bring it to you in a different point of view, which could help out. Well, I've made a lot of videos on Nancy Guthrie. I have, and just like everybody else, right? And everybody has been talking about a lot of the same things. Well, there is a little bit of information that did drop today. They're saying that the picture that they gave us of the suspect. Now, you remember when before the video, they gave us just still shots, okay? And then it was like a few hours later, they showed us the video. I don't know why they did that, but they gave us still shots. Some of us realized, okay, that these still shots, two of them were a little different. One that shows he has a backpack on and he has a holster, okay, with a weapon. The other still shot doesn't show a holster and it doesn't show a backpack, but he's wearing the same thing.
Guys, I'm outside Nancy's house with a really, really big update on the story. So we have confirmed, you remember there was the pictures of the suspect, the one with him wearing the backpack and the one with him not wearing the backpack, taken on Nancy's Google Nest camera. We have confirmed that these pictures that you are looking at are from different days. The pictures are from different days, which makes sense because a lot of you have been questioning, and I've been questioning, why was he wearing the backpack in one photo and not wearing the backpack in another photo? Did he put the backpack down? It never really made sense. Well, now it does. Sources have confirmed to me and also to News Nation correspondent Libby Dean in Washington, D.C., that the photos are from different days. What day? So you've got the photo with the backpack, which is the day that the early morning hours, February 1st, that Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped allegedly, and then this other photo from a different day, a previous day. We don't know what day it is. I have not been able to report that yet, but I will tell you, remember that I talked to several neighbors here who said that the FBI and detectives were specifically asking them about video from January 11th, which would have been weeks before Nancy Guthrie disappeared. So perhaps that is the day that the first photo is from. That I cannot confirm yet, though. I just know that it is from a previous day. It is from a different day.
So some people were saying, oh, there's two people involved, okay? And me personally, I already know there's more than one person involved. I mean, you can't tell me differently. I know, just because the experience I've had of being around these people that have done this before in the underworld and things of that nature, okay? I've never personally done anything like this, all right? My stuff was like white collar crime, which I'm going to tell you about in a bit, and how it can relate to what's going on now. But from the people I knew in this type of situation, it was more than one person. But come to find out, these images are from two separate nights. Now, they're not telling us what the other night is from. So we all got to wonder now. But in one of my videos, it was maybe 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I don't remember. But I told you guys, I spoke with somebody close to the situation. And this is before the media told us, okay, what they were looking for. And the person I spoke to who's in that area said that police were knocking on doors and they were asking for video. Now, this is before they told us this. They said they were looking for video that night, okay? That night, they were looking for video between the times of 1 and 4. Okay, so 1 and 4. So then right then and there, I knew that they had a time range, all right? Then they were looking for video, okay, from early January. The guy just couldn't remember what the date was, but it was early January. Then they come out and tell us what, last week, they need video from January 11th. So I'm wondering if this picture is from January 11th. And this is where they're getting that date from. And not only that, the person I spoke to is this the reason why he said early January? I don't know. I do know when we first heard about early January, I started thinking about what happened in early January at Nancy Guthrie's house. She did have electrical work done that started, I believe it was September. I pulled the documents and the permits for that. And then it was finished, I think, January 6th or 7th. I have to go back and look at the date. But it was finished, I think, a week before January 11th. And I have the individual's name that signed off on the electrical work. So I'm wondering what this electrical work was for. I noticed the media hasn't talked about this at all, but supposedly this electrical work took at least, 3 months to 3 or 4 months or so. It took a while for it to do. So I'm wondering what it was and what kind of permit they needed to do. Was this for the video cameras? Did this person disconnect not disconnect, but did he have anything to do with the subscription? We don't know, right? We don't know. But I do know somebody's involved with the subscription. Unless Nancy just forgot to pay the subscription, which she is older. And yeah, a lot of older people, when it comes to technology and phones, stuff like that, it was a little harder for them. I get that. But with her son-in-law and her daughter living right down the street, you would think they would be able to help with this. So that's why I'm still kind of speculating on them too a little, right? Well, they give us this picture and they tell us it's from 2 different dates. So that part we know, all right? Now, I told you guys already it's more than one person. I mean, you can't tell me other ways. I told you guys already how I think what happened, all right? They keep changing the stories on us left and right. So yes, we're all wondering if this is even real at this point because the stories keep changing. I think they entered through the back door first. That's why the back door was open. They entered through the back door. The person went to the front. He disconnected the camera, did what he had to do so they can get Nancy out the front door because that was the easiest way to get her out and then pull the car up. And that's why we didn't see a car or a van. All right. So until something else comes out, I think that's what I think happened, all right? What I don't get, though, is they got this video footage, but they can't get video footage from a main street camera. Now, we all know there's no street cameras in her neighborhood. We know this. There's not even no lights. But in my prior videos, I showed you when you get out of the neighborhood, there's a couple ways to get out. And as soon as you get out, unless those cameras aren't working, as soon as you get out, guess what, folks? They're street cameras, unless they're not working or they don't use them. But there are street cameras on both the ends when you get out, when you get to both of the major roads or streets. All right. I've been to Tucson before. I've been there a few times. All right. So I'm familiar with that foothills area. I know it well. So there is multiple ways you can get around. They could have left by car. They could have left by in the mountains on a 4x4, but you would think if they did that, they would have found trails. You would think they would have followed the trails, right? But who am I to say? I'm not the police, and the police has been handling this wrong from the start. From the start, they should have roped off the area. They should have had not people like YouTubers like me walking around there filming the blood on the ground. They shouldn't have done any of that. They should have been blocked off from the start. So the police botched this from the get-go. And we're going to get into why I also think this is a perfect scenario for a criminal. And a lot of it has to do with the police. All right. But let's get into the guy. Remember Carlos? He was the one that was detained. All right. The first one, they went into his house, took his cell phones. Remember, they pulled him over. Come to find out, they never pulled him over. They were just following him and he decided to pull over. Well, this man's lawyered up now. He's lawyered up.
Late last Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. It's been almost a week now. What's the last week been like for you?
It's been hectic. Like, I can't even go out. I can't dash for my wife because people taking pictures of us or following us. Like yesterday, we went out dashing. We got home and there was this red truck following us. This morning it was there too. So it's been kind of scary for me and for my wife, my kids, and everybody. What's gonna happen? Like my in-law, my brother-in-law, we didn't even have nothing to do with it, and they still arrested him and everything. They put him in the SWAT car. I didn't know that. They put him in the SWAT car. They even detained my wife and my kids.
What's going through your head when you pulled up back home?
Like, what are they doing at the house? Like, they already searched it. I know they had to go find evidence supposedly against me, but I don't know. It was crazy. It was still a lot of police there, a lot of activity. They didn't even let us go into the house 20 minutes later. Once they released me, they still had the street blocked off. They didn't even get off the car or nothing.
They've falsely arrested an innocent man. They've subjected his family to misery, humiliation, handcuffs, and there's no evidence. This was a wrongful arrest. It was a false arrest. They've cast this shadow of suspicion on Carlos and his family, and now they're living day to day. They're living in fear.
So I bet you a bottom dollar he plans on suing. That's why the lawyer is there. Now we're going to find out how this goes, if he was really, involved in this. A lot of people were allegedly blaming Tommaso. And I look at him funny too. And even if it is him, I don't think he physically did it. Because if he physically did it, Nancy cannot be alive. Nancy would point him out. Hey, it was my son-in-law. So he can't physically do it. So even if he is involved, he would have to get somebody else to do this. All right. Not only that, whoever she goes, when she goes back home, she's going to tell her who did it anyway. I hope she's alive. But I personally think she's not. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think she is. Now, another reason why I think it's two people, which I told you before, they had to get her out the house. Somebody had to drive. Unless they threw her in the trunk, all right? Somebody had to drive and somebody had to watch her. So I know it was more than one person. Well, everybody they've been arresting, they arrested Carlos, then they also arrested the other guy, Luke.
Well, it's interesting. The Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI will not publicly name any person of interest or suspects in the Nancy Guthrie case. And I've spent the last several days working to learn who exactly was questioned at a home in the Catalina Foothills area this past Friday. That's when investigators served a search warrant on a home that's just 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's own home. We can now report the person they were interviewing is 37-year-old Luke Daly. Now, this is a statement from Daly's defense attorney. He represents him in multiple criminal cases. His name is Chris Scalepi. He said, quote, Scalepi Law can confirm that Luke Daly was the subject of 2 search warrants issued and served on February 13th, 2026. Mr. Daly and his mother were both detained by law enforcement while those search warrants were being executed. Neither Mr. Daly nor his mother were arrested in connection to this case or any other. Mr. Daly has no link whatsoever to Nancy Guthrie and has no information related to her kidnapping. Like the entire Tucson community, both Mr. Daly and his mother are hopeful that Nancy will be returned to her family unharmed, end quote. Now, video from the scene shows where these 2 search warrants were served. One was Daly's home. He lives there with his 77-year-old mother. There was also a scene at a Range Rover at a nearby Culver's, just a couple of miles away from both homes. Sheriff Chris Nanos tells 12 News in the interview we had with him yesterday that they presented evidence to a federal judge. They got both search warrants. They processed both scenes, not only in search of any potential suspects, but also in search of Nancy herself.
Luke is released. Luke's lawyer, he has a lawyer, and his lawyer saying he had nothing to do with it. That's the guy that was driving the Range Rover. Then the other girl that was arrested with Luke, here's something they don't talk about much, is Kayla. And I talked about this in my last video. Kayla was one of the people that was detained. Actually, I should say arrested. Kayla was arrested, all right, the day before they raided Luke in his house. The day before, all right? Now, in my world, the world I used to live in, Kayla would be labeled a rat right now because we all know that, all right, you got arrested and now we all going down the next day. Yeah, you said something. Now, Kayla and Luke were arrested last year, okay, for drugs and weapons and things like that. Now, Luke was already arrested back in, I think, 2020. He did some time, okay, for drugs and things like that. So Luke has a background. Then he was let out, and then he got arrested again last year. His probation officer tried to get his, I don't remember if it was parole or probation, but she tried to get it revoked. And the judge said, no, let him back out in the street. So now Luke was out walking among us, and Kayla was out walking with us as well too. And she just got arrested again because of her violation as well. That's what they're saying. Some people are saying Kayla's related to Nancy Guthrie in a way. They're saying she's a niece through another relative. I've seen all kind of things. I heard that she could be Terry's daughter. I've heard that Kayla's godparents are Guthries. I don't know. I still have not confirmed that. I still can't find any confirmation on this. But if Kayla is related, I would not be shocked. But the media doesn't tell us anything about Kayla. But Kayla's currently in jail right now. So I wonder if Kayla's the one running around telling all these people why all these people are getting arrested. Who knows? Now, I could tell you one thing. You know where Luke and Kayla got arrested at last year? The same place they're looking to get those jackets and backpacks. Walmart. I believe it was last March. They got busted in a Walmart parking lot because somebody told on them. Cops came, searched the vehicle, and found all kind of things in a Walmart parking lot. Okay, Walmart parking lot. Now, I'm not saying there's a connection with the backpack and the jacket. I'm not saying that, but just a little food for thought. They got busted in the Walmart parking lot a year ago. Now, like I said, Kayla's in prison or jail right now. We don't know what's going on with her because they're not releasing no information. All right. Well, Luke, like I said, is trying to say he's innocent. And I don't know. This whole case has been crazy. But I'm going to tell you right now why this is a perfect scenario for a criminal.
I'm still here in Tucson. I wanted to show you guys. There's a lot of, I heard about these tunnels, but there's these tunnels. They're like drainage tunnels, but they go underneath different parts of the city, like where I am now. And there were actually volunteer crews out here searching for Nancy Guthrie over the weekend in some of these tunnels. And I wanted to show you guys what they look like, because some of them go on for quite a while. It's really dark. It's kind of creepy out here, actually. Chris, who's behind the camera, actually scared me a second ago and pretended like there was someone down here. But you can see they basically go underneath a lot of the main roads, and they connect to different parts of these neighborhoods. And like I said, I'm told there's a bunch of them. But in this episode, I'm going to show you the latest with the search efforts. Also, something really interesting I heard about, could there be a deal worked legally so that someone who has information about where Nancy Guthrie is could come forward, someone who may have been involved in the kidnapping could come forward and give the information without getting criminally in trouble. It actually has a legal term. It's called queen for a day. Someone brought it up to me, and I'm going to really dive into it into this episode, because if a deal could be worked out, could that, really move the investigation along in terms of what happened to Nancy Guthrie?
You heard what Brian Enton just said. Queen for a day. All right. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the term queen for a day, I'm actually going to tell you what that is. All right. So it's called a proffer agreement. All right. A proffer agreement is different than an immunity agreement. These are two separate things that people get confused. This is why I say this is a great case scenario for a criminal. Now, I was offered a proffered agreement when I got into trouble. Now, my case was totally different. All right, totally different. I started one of the biggest car rings in the state. I was actually in Colorado at the time, and I started one of the biggest car rings out there. And we were taking cars from dealerships, but the dealerships were in on it. All right. And we were kind of like the middlemen. We would get a list of where to pick up the car and get it. And I got like a whole crew involved. We pick up these cars and we take these cars and we would get them delivered. And the reason why I started doing this was because I used to work for a company called MCI. For you guys that aren't familiar, MCI was just as big as AT&T at one point and Sprint. At that time, AT&T, Sprint, and MCI were the three biggest phone providers in America. Now, this is when landlines, we're all using landlines, but those three always fought for the top spot. I was working for MCI. And if you guys know anything about what happened with MCI went bankrupt. People were laundering money. Matter of fact, they still owe me a paycheck to this day. I never got paid it. Went to show up to work one day and there was a letter on the door. It was FBI letter. We couldn't go into work. We knew nothing about this. And I myself took it upon myself because I ran across the opportunity to make some money. And at this time, my son was born and I was the only one pretty much bringing in the money into the house. So I was scared to know what to do. And I made dumb choice of starting this car ring because the opportunity came to me. And I figured I'll do this real quick, make some money, and then I'll leave. All right. Which I did it for like 4 or 5 months or something like that. And then I ended up leaving. But when I started this car ring, all right, and like I said, we were taking cars from dealerships and they were in on it. Well, when everybody got busted because I left and then I got told on by was supposed to be friend that kind of took it over. So when he got caught, he told on me and I was the mastermind, blah, blah, blah. So they interrogated me for a couple days and they were asking me where I got the opportunity from because they knew I got the opportunity from somewhere. But they needed me to tell them where it came from. They needed me to give them big names. So they offered me a proffer agreement, AKA queen for the day. And this was the deal. The deal was I can talk about everything, all the crimes I committed, anything. I can lay it all on the table. They don't care if I unalived anybody. All right. They do not care. They want the big people, the ones who are responsible for all this going down. But the deal was I can only talk about it for that day, meaning I couldn't write no books about it. I couldn't sell no movie deals. I couldn't go around bragging. After that day, I couldn't say nothing. That's why it's called queen for the day. Because after that day is over with, anything you say, you're going to get in trouble for and it's going to be used against you. So you only have that time to talk to them and you can say it for that day. So they give you this opportunity. Hey, we know you did some bad stuff, but tell you what, we'll let you off the hook. You just got to tell us everything. Well, I couldn't say everything because the people that I knew that we were doing this for were some big time people. I'm talking about big time. Okay. I'm talking about mafia type of people. So I could not open my mouth because I know my life is on the line and then my family's life is on the line. I knew it. So I couldn't talk at all. So I didn't talk and they used an example out of me. But that's why I know a lot about a proffer agreement. All right. So if there is a person right now who is involved, let's say with Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping, all right, they can come to the table with this proffer agreement. It's a dream case scenario. And not only that, there's more to this that I'm going to explain as a dream case scenario. But all they got to do is come to the police or FBI. All they have to do is say, I got some information. They don't have to tell them. But in a roundabout way, they can tell them they got some information. And in return, this is what they want done. They want to be a queen for a day. Now, if you were the FBI or you were the police and your charges, what would you do? Would you give them the queen for a day so you could solve the case, or would you let the case keep going? Because they can hold him. You can hold him as long as not as long as you want, but you can hold him. But if he doesn't incriminate himself, you just got to let go. So even if you know he knows something, you can't take him to jail. But maybe if you give him that queen for the day, he might say something, right? Now, like I said, this is different than immunity. Immunity is when they give you full immunity, meaning after that day, you're free of everything. You could talk as much as you want, all kind of stuff, all right? It's forever. Queen for the day or a proffer agreement is not forever, all right? The whole Tupac situation, what happened with Tupac? I don't know if you guys know, there's a guy named Keefe D who got arrested in Vegas a couple years ago. He's going to trial right now over the Tupac, what happened with him, okay, in Vegas. finally, if you never heard about this. Well, the reason why he got caught because he wrote a book, a tell-all book, saying he was in the car when everything went down. He passed the guy the weapon that actually fired at Tupac. He wrote a whole book. Then he went and did interviews about the book, and they're asking him questions, and he's asking all the questions. Yeah, I was in the car. So then what happens is he got arrested. Come to find out, he thought he had immunity. The man Keefe never had immunity. Detective said no, he only had a proffer agreement. He only had Queen for the day. So they're letting him talk all he wants, and then they arrest him. Bill Cosby, almost the same thing, except getting the proffer agreement, written agreement, he got a verbal agreement, which was bad. That was what happened with Bill Cosby and why he got let out. Okay. He told him everything that happened, but they gave him a verbal agreement when he should have just got a proffer agreement. All right. So that was a mistake on his part. But another reason why this is a dream case scenario too for a criminal. I'm going to tell you something right now. Police has messed this up from the start. If it was me and I'm the one who did this, and let's say I'm the one in charge and got Nancy or something like that. Let's say I'm thinking like I'm the one who did this. Oh, I'm loving this. I am loving it because I'm watching the police bumble over the words. I'm watching the FBI look like they not know what they're doing. They're finding these gloves everywhere in the forest. They don't know who's placing the gloves where. It was people who were searching. They don't know. I could have been the one that went back and threw gloves. Think about this. Think about this for a second. Everybody goes to eat, right? Everybody goes to a hospital. Everybody goes somewhere where they're using some of these black gloves. A lot of times chefs are in food places using these black gloves. I could have went to a taco truck. All right. Dug through the trash, got some black gloves, and then went back to the area and threw black gloves everywhere. Now they're looking for Jose that made my tacos 2 weeks ago. Think about this. I throw a glove here. I throw a glove there. I got a glove here. Here, let me sprinkle a little glove over here. I got y'all looking everywhere. Getting crazy over these gloves. Now the news is reporting all these glove here and the glove there. And while you guys are going a wild goose chase on these gloves, sending the gloves to Florida or arguing sure to go to Quantico, I'm living my best life watching you guys on the news laughing. It's crazy. It is so crazy. Then, on top of that, they're giving out too much evidence. They're giving out too much. Okay, let's just say, for example, let's say the first guy, Carlos, is involved. Let's just say, and I'm not saying he is, but let's say he was. The night he got arrested, it was all over the news, all over the news. And if I'm working with Carlos, think about this. If I'm working with Carlos and I turn on News Nation and he's getting arrested and just got let go and now doing an interview tomorrow, hey, I had nothing. What do you think I'm going to do? Oh, they're on my tail. They got, Carlos. Oh, let me clean up, pack up and go somewhere else. Let me leave. Let whatever it is. Let me ditch Nancy off somewhere. Let me do something. I got time to clean up now. The same thing when Luke and his family got detained. Okay, same thing. Think about it. Think about this, people. I told you the girl Kayla got arrested. They never mentioned her name, but she got arrested the day before Luke. The reason why they never mentioned Kayla's name is because when they arrested Kayla, and if Kayla gave up any information on Luke, because they know each other and they got arrested a year ago, if they gave any information on the news saying, oh, Kayla just got detained Friday, that means Luke, if he is involved, can get rid of any evidence before they come raid his house the next day. Think about this, people. So they told us about Carlos and Luke, but they never told us about Kayla. Now, if Kayla did know something even more, now we know about Luke, and that gives me another opportunity to wipe my hands clean. Oh, yeah, let me throw a glove over here and get him off the trail. All this evidence they're showing it to us in light is actually bad. Yes, I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I do true crime now. I report on it and everything else. But still, at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's being going on and leaked. And, just like the Tommaso thing. Think about that. Think about that. oh, Tommaso could be a prime suspect. But police never said nothing. That give Tommaso a little bit of chance to clean up what he got to clean up. So that's why I say this is a great scenario for a criminal. It is. I told you guys when this first started, they could be in Mexico. When they very first started, I said it could be in Mexico. Why? Because they got all those tunnels right there by the border. How do I know? Because when I was a fugitive on the run from the law, what do you think? In the beginning of the video, I told you I lived in different countries under different names. How do you think I got to some of those countries? It's not hard, people. It's not hard. Not hard at all. But they are complicating it and making it hard for them. And then for the criminal, almost seem like it's making it easy. I know if it was me, I'd be sitting back relaxing. I would be watching myself right now on YouTube like, got him. Oh, y'all messing with this glove in the forest. Got him. As soon as I saw the glove, I knew. I was like, no, bro, come on. Too easy like that? No. Who puts on double? First of all, the guy in the camera has on double gloves. I've told you guys this before. This is your first time watching it. The guy has on double gloves. It's not one pair, it's double. Okay? One person, it was an ex-detective on Fox or something. He made a comment and said, well, maybe he threw it out the window because he had to take the gloves off to drive the car. This is when you can tell some people just never done nothing, which is good, you know, but if you're double gloved up, you're not going to risk taking that glove off driving the car. You can hold your weapon with it. You can take off a ring camera. You can kidnap somebody, but you need the glove off to put your hand on the steering wheel and put it in drive. No, it doesn't work that way. Not only that, I'm pretty sure the car was a stolen vehicle or a vehicle maybe even stolen that got driven across the border. That vehicle's long gone. I'm pretty sure that vehicle probably got driven across the border already, burnt up, given to some member, whatever it is. It's probably set on fire right now in the cartel war. We don't know. But why would they risk putting fingerprints on the car when they didn't risk it in the house? Now, I'm not saying people are all the way smart. Yeah, you can be dumb and realize, but I don't see that one. They don't just throw the glove out the window. No. But yeah, this is a dream case scenario for a criminal. It really is. Now, I hope I gave you guys a little bit of insight that would make you think about things and maybe even make you think about this case a little differently. Do I think they're going to solve this? I really don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to even wonder if it's real. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if this is political. Nancy was doing a lot of political stuff on her page, and then Trump started talking and getting involved. So I'm starting to wonder if it's political, if family is involved. I know for sure it's not random. It is definitely not random. Especially they're telling us that the guy showed up a month before. It's not random. I said that from the start. It wasn't random. This is no burglary gone wrong. No burglar I ever met in my life unalive somebody in the middle of the home invasion was like, oh, let me take them with me. No. What are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with the person? Why would you take them with you? That made no sense. Let me take them with me so you can leave the trail of where you're going. No. If anything, you're going to take your weapons with you and clean up your place. Remember, they were in the house and said 40 minutes. So we don't know what they was doing. But I figure I bring that up to you guys. Why this is a dream scenario for a criminal. Please let me know what you think. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, okay? I promise you will not be disappointed. If you're new, also leave your city, your state. I try and interact with everybody who comments on below, all right? If you're returning, thank you so much. My channel has 20,300 subscribers. Oh my God. It has been fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to hit 25K in no time. And I've grown this since the last 8 months now, almost 9 months. Thank you to everybody. Merch down below, Fugitive TV merch to the side, Ray Marcel collection, also the membership where I do updated videos on court cases and things like that. So please sign up so you don't miss out on that. Please take care of one another. Look out for one another, all right? And also be aware of your surroundings, because I don't want to have to report any of you guys on any of these videos, all right? Fugitive TV, take care. I'm out.